We are joined now by Tim Walsh, first-year head coach of the Alvirne Broncos, but of course longtime head coach in the New England area at the high school and college level. Coach, welcome inside the High School Insiders.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations, first of all, on the win. I guess we'll start there before we dive into your background, but Alvirne, a program in need of a victory, and your guys delivered in big fashion on Saturday in that win over North. What was the locker room like in the moments after the victory?
Oh, they were very excited. They worked very hard. It was a great win considering coming off the loss to Pinkerton. The kids regrouped and worked hard in preparation for the week leading up to the North game and just executed very well, executed the game plan, and just the feeling in the locker room was, this is one, let's get another one type of thing,
Right, absolutely. You've got some talent on that team, Coach. You've also got some size up front. What about the big bodies on the offensive line? How important are they in the big scheme of things for the Broncos this year?
Well, very much so because, they're in Division One. This is their second year in Division One, and probably the biggest thing, the adjustment, is speed and size and strength. When you go from 2 years ago, they were in Division Three, and now being in Division One, that's the adjustment that has to be made. So we have some kids with some good size, 6'4", 6'5", and up at 200, 290, 280. We average about 256 across the front. So it's pretty good size, and I've got a quality fullback that's a junior, 6'1", 245, and he's solid and he can run, and that certainly helps in the transition from Division Three to Division One.
We're talking with Tim Walsh, first-year head coach of the Alvirne Broncos. Alvirne 1-1 following a big win over North over the weekend. Coach, I've asked this of Coach O'Reilly of Pinkerton, who's been in the game 3+ decades, and we talked about the size now of football players, particularly up front, the offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, and just how big the kids are at 17, 18. Have you noticed that kind of jump as well? I mean, Coach was saying it used to be if you had a kid over 200 pounds, that was pretty good. Now it's pushing 3. Is that a noticeable difference in your opinion?
Oh, absolutely. And Pinkerton alone, I mean, they're as big as any Division Three or even some Division Two teams in the country. They're absolutely enormous. But the average size of the kids, I mean, compared to like when I played, which was back when the Pope was an altar boy, you had 165-pound, 180-pound guard, tackle, and it was unusual to see somebody at 230 or 240 in the line. That was exceptional back then. And now you see people that size, they're running backs. So it's absolutely amazing. I think it's the knowledge that the kids have now on how to take care of themselves, the proper weight training, nutrition, and the whole bit all goes into it. I worked for the last 10 years or so at BC during working their football camps, and we have kids come from all over the country. And to see some of these kids walking to the dining hall and you say to them, what year are you, son? I'll be a sophomore, sir. And they're 6'8" and 275 pounds, and they're not fat. And it's just amazing to see these kids like from Texas and Florida and a lot of the kids up here. Just the average size of the teams nowadays is huge.
Again, Tim Walsh, our guest here on the High School Insiders, first-year head coach of the Alvirne Broncos, Division I program, 1-1, 2 weeks into the season. Coach, you mentioned the Boston College football camp. 11 of your players attended that camp. How big are the off-season workouts, the off-season practices, and just getting kids involved really 12 months a year? How big is that to your program?
Well, it's very big. We try to get the kids. We do not discourage any kid from playing other sports. Absolutely, we try to encourage them actually to play other sports at this school. But the kids that are maybe out of season or not playing a sport during that season, well, we try to get them in a structured weight program. We were able to do that, and last spring we took a bunch of kids, most of the team, down to the BC spring game, which caught the interest of the kids. They wanted to go to camp there. Like I said, we had 11 go to camp. And then during the summertime, we were able to get into the Merrimack Valley 7-on-7, and we played the likes of Lowell and Chelmsford and Drake, Borica, schools like that. Quality team. So that helped us prepare for this upcoming season.
Absolutely.
But yes, it is a year-round process.
Yeah,
especially when you're at Division I.
And you did pretty well in those 7-on-7 games, right, Coach? I mean, they were in an Under Armour 7-on-7 tournament that included 40 teams. Some of those teams you just talked about, and you guys finished second from what I understand. I mean, that itself has got to be encouraging, right?
Well, it is. The kids acclimated to the kids. Having seen them playing the likes of Lowell that has outstanding speed, and Chelmsford and Drake, especially, that runs that wide open offense. It just helped acclimate the kids to the speed aspect of it. And we were in a tournament at St. Anselm's, and there were, I believe, 24 Division I schools, mostly from Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And that was our first event that we were in, and we came in the top 4 in that. So we were very happy with that, and the kids have been making progress right along.
I want to dive into your background a little bit now, Coach. You started as an assistant very young, at just 22 years old at UMass Lowell at the college level. Not long after, you became the head coach and eventually won a Division II national championship. You got to look back, I would assume, at those years with a smile, right, Coach?
Well, those are great years. I'd like to make a correction, though. That wasn't Division II. That was at what they call the club football level.
Okay.
We actually won two titles in 77 and one in 79. But, yeah, that was a great experience there. There was a lot going on. Back then it was the University of Lowell before all that changed. There were great times there, not only football-wise. We recruited a lot of local kids. So the teams that we had were very good.
Again, our guest here is Tim Walsh, head football coach of the Alvirne Broncos. After UMass Lowell, or Lowell, you went on to stay in, I guess, the Lowell area at Lowell Catholic for 10 years and then moved over the state border to Bishop Girton in Nashua, where you were the offensive coordinator and enjoyed some championship seasons with the Cardinals. Now here you are at Alvirne at 61 years old. What prompted the move to Alvirne? Was it just the opportunity, or was there something else that made you want to take the Broncos job?
Well, last year I helped Mark Phillips, who, by the way, I thought did an outstanding job in bridging that gap from Division III to Division I. When you jump one division, that's a major adjustment. But when you jump 2 divisions, that's for people that have been in coaching or have some idea, that's just an incredible a jump to have to adjust to, and Mark did a great job in doing that. Unfortunately, he resigned, and the position became open, and the school approached me and asked me if I'd be interested in staying on. And I thought about it, and I said, yeah, I'll do it, and that's how that came about.
Now, you've kind of put your own stamp on the way things are run. It seems like players have to wear now shirt and tie on game day. There's a no cursing policy in place, and it looks like you've assigned some seniors to kind of shepherd over the freshmen. Those obviously sound like good ideas, Coach. Were those things that you picked up kind of along the way in your decades of coaching?
Yes. I just think that to have structure in your program is very important, and discipline. And the kids have responded very well to that. They actually enjoy wearing the shirt and ties. At first they were, coach, but now they actually look forward to Friday wearing the shirt and tie instead of a game jersey. The thing you referred to earlier about the seniors with the freshmen, we started a Big Brother program. We had the freshmen come in on the first day when we started camp, and that way the kids could acclimate to the school. They had a Big Brother here that they could sit down and have lunch with, talk about the program, what to expect at school, and it just helped in their transition. We look at this from the freshmen right through the seniors as the Alvirne family here, and we really strive to promote that as much as we can. This junior and senior class that we have this year has been outstanding as far as leadership and leading by example. So I couldn't be more happy with those kids.
And again, Tim Walsh, head coach of Alvirne, on the phone with us talking football here on the High School Insiders. Speaking of that Alvirne Bronco family you referred to, Coach, it does seem like it's got a pretty good following. The town of Hudson really on board. You've got your own website, alvirnebroncosfootball.org, with I guess over 20 local businesses on board there. I would assume I've made my way over this year, but some pretty good crowds for home games would be in the cards. That's got to make your job a little bit easier, your transition to the head football coach easier, knowing that the community is behind you, right, Coach?
Well, it's always a plus, and I'd just like to mention that the Touchdown Club, which set up that website, particularly Paul Yamo and Paul Masada, have done just an incredible job in setting that up and working with the community and getting ads, and the kids have worked to get ads. So that's always a plus. And, yeah, we do expect a big crowd Friday night when we take on Keene, which will be a tough test for us.
Let's get back to the team here. Again, a couple minutes left with Coach Walsh. I guess the most notable name on the team would be Danny Brown. His older brother Tyler, of course, a multi-sport athlete over there in recent years. And Danny, of course, is a playmaker in his own right. What about his development, Coach? How high can his ceiling be?
Well, Danny is still, adjusting to missing basically all of last year. He got hurt in the preseason and lost his sophomore year. The thing with Danny is he's played at the varsity level. He's played in tournaments as a freshman. So he's been under the so-called Friday night lights. He's knows how to deal with that. He comes from an athletic family. His father's a coach, well-known in town. So he comes in here as more of a thoroughbred than anything else. And he just possesses a wealth of talent. There's situations he doesn't get flustered. He has a great command of what we're doing offensively. And he's the field general out there. He's like having a coach on the field.
Yeah, that's obviously a coach's best friend, an extension, so to speak, on the field and in the huddle. You mentioned Keene. Right. That's the next opponent here in Week 3. From an outsider perspective, you take a look at that division, and it may be a down division, Coach, with South falling in at 0-2. You've already gotten North out of the way with a convincing win. Bishop Girton has their share of injuries, and Keene lost a lot of graduating seniors. The division is wide open, right?
Oh, it's wide open. It's anybody's taking. But like I tell the kids, this is Division I. There are no weekends off. All these teams are very good. They're very well coached, and there's no cupcakes throughout the whole season. Every week we're working hard to prepare for our game on Friday or Saturday night.
All right, Coach, finally, let's preview the matchup Friday night, the Keene game. What about the Blackbirds? We know they're 0-2. We know they've struggled through their first 2 losses. What about them has you preparing this week?
Well, they have good size. Yes, they did have some kids graduate, but so didn't we. I mean, everybody deals with that every year. I know they beat us by 40 points last year, so we'll see how much we've closed the gap come Friday night. But we're expecting a real good game and a tough battle, a physical battle, and I think the game will be won or lost like usual up front.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, I appreciate the time. I enjoyed the conversation. Good luck, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.